Every single year, there's this one institution that basically sets the academic future for hundreds of thousands of students, and not just in Pakistan, but all over the world. It's called the FBISE, and believe it or not, it's right in the middle of a quiet revolution. So, let's break down what it is and why the changes it's making matter so much.
So first things first, what even is the FBISE? It stands for the Federal Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education. Now, it operates under the Ministry of Education, but the key word here is autonomous. That's a big deal. It means it has the power to set its own curriculum, its own exams. It's basically the command center for this huge, sprawling network of schools. And that network, well, that's what makes the FOBIC so incredibly unique. Its reach is just massive. We're talking about a board that operates quite literally without any borders.
And here's what makes it so different from other boards. Most are stuck to a single province, right? Well, the FBISE covers the capital, Islamabad, all the military-run cantonments across the country, the northern region of Gilgit-Baltistan, and, this is the big one, every single Pakistani international school across the globe. It's a national and an international board all rolled into one.
Okay, so we know where it operates, but what does the FBICS actually, do? Well, its core mission really boils down to two things: to educate and to examine. This is the day-to-day work that affects every single student under its big umbrella.
The examination part is broken down into two main stages. First up, you've got the SSC. That's the Secondary School Certificate for grades 9 and 10. Once you pass that, you move on to the HSSC, the Higher Secondary School Certificate for grades 11 and 12. Think of these two sets of exams as the fundamental gateways to university and beyond in the Pakistani system.
But it's not all about exams, not by a long shot. The FBISE is in charge of affiliating schools, basically giving them the stamp of approval. It prescribes the curriculum, and yeah, it holds the tests. But it also has this fourth duty which you might not expect: promoting student well-being, often by organizing huge national sports competitions. It's really meant to be a holistic approach to education.
But here's the thing. In the last few years, the biggest story about the FBISE hasn't been about its jurisdiction or its structure. No. It's been about a fundamental revolution in how it tests students, a complete and total rethinking of the test itself.
So before 2022, the whole system was based on the textbook. Success pretty much meant memorizing that book cover to cover. But in 2022, the board just flipped the script. They switched to a system based on SLOs, which stands for Student Learning Outcomes. And this wasn't just some small tweak. It was a massive philosophical shift in what it even means to be tested.
So what's the real difference between these two systems? Well, think about it like this. The old way tested if you could memorize and spit back information from one specific book. The new SLO system, though, it tests your actual understanding of a topic. It doesn't care if you learn it from a textbook or online or from another source. What matters is, do you actually get the concept? It's the difference between memorizing a recipe versus truly knowing how to cook.
Now, you can't make a change this huge without making some waves, right? Because this new system was brought in right in the middle of the school year, it sparked some pretty big student protests. I mean, they felt like the rules of the game were being changed while they were still playing. But despite that backlash, the FBISE held its ground, which really signaled how committed they were to this new concept-based future.
So let's pull all these threads together. Why does taking a deep dive into an educational board like this actually matter? Well, because its decisions, its history, and the direction it's headed, they all have a profound impact on the entire educational landscape.
And the FBISE isn't some new kid on the block. It was established by an act of parliament way back in 1975. That's almost half a century of influence, of setting standards and shaping the academic careers of millions of people. Its legacy is long, and its recent changes suggest its future is going to be just as impactful.
And this really is the critical question that the FBISE's whole evolution forces us all to ask. Is the future of education, the future of testing, about what you know, or is it about how you think? The federal board has clearly made its choice. It's betting on real understanding over just memorizing. The question now is, who's going to follow?